Hey you guys, this is Kristen coming at you live from Bethera, South Carolina, and tonight I'm going to talk to you guys about the simplest way that you can meal plan or meal prep when you are following a keto diet. So if you're joining me live, if you will drop a 1 in the comments to let me know that you're here. Let me know where you're coming from. Also, if you're watching on the replay, that means when you look up, you don't see that red live up there at the top. If you will drop I miss you in the comments. And if you're new and you've never seen any of my videos before, if you will drop new so that I can give you a full name shout out. Hey Cheryl, thanks for joining me. Hey Yolanda, how are you guys? And guys, if you don't mind, if you will just share this video out, you can share it to your keto groups, your recipe groups, any low carb groups. Maybe you're a part of a meal prep group, you can drop it there, or you can just share it to your personal pages. Hey Jasmine, hey Andy, hi Jojo, how are you? Hello Cheryl. I would greatly appreciate it. And also, even if you know someone, let's say you know someone who is either just starting the keto diet or they're trying to kind of navigate how they are going to meal prep. I find that the keto lifestyle is actually just a healthy lifestyle that a lot of people probably could do and without even realizing that they're doing it. So if you know someone who is maybe just trying to work on maybe having better eating habits, then you can tag them down in the comments by just writing their name. Hey Cindy, hey Peggy, hello Sue. Thanks so much for joining me. So I'm going to get started. I don't want to take a ton of your time. I know it's Sunday, and if you're like me, Sundays are kind of sacred at my house, and so I do love to give you guys some value. So let me know if you use or if you find that this is going to be helpful in any way. I would greatly appreciate it. Hey Barbara, hello Kara, hey Andy, thanks for joining me. Hi Vanessa from Massachusetts. Hey Jackie, thanks for joining me. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, I'm going to make this as simple as I possibly can because I do feel like a lot of people are very, very intimidated whenever you say, I'm doing keto, okay? And if you've ever been intimidated, I want you to put me in the comments below. I know whenever I first started, I thought that it was going to be like this big thing and it was going to take tons of work and lots of planning and all of that. And while it does take a little bit of planning, it really does not take a ton of planning. And I'm going to show you tonight how simple it actually is. So the first thing that I'm going to share with you is some staples that I feel like everyone should have in their home if they are keto. And then I have a couple of other things that I may tell you about, but they're not necessarily staples that you have to have all of the time. But I will tell you, these are the things that you're going to want to have on hand. So at any given time, if I go to the grocery store and I'm running low on one of these things, these are staples at my house. So I always make sure that I stock up and that I keep these in my pantry or in my refrigerator. So I'm going to share those things first, and then I'm going to go through and talk to you guys about what meal planning looks like for me at my house, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I want to share with you are things that you need to have on hand. If you are keto and you have any of these things in your pantry or in your refrigerator, if you will just put them in the comments below to let me know that you actually do have them. So first thing I want to share with you are some of the sweeteners. Now, I will recommend that whenever you start lazy keto, well, I'm lazy keto. You don't have to be lazy keto, but I'm just saying in general. When you start a ketogenic diet, a lot of people will come up with the comeback. They'll say, oh my gosh, that's too expensive. I can't do it. So what I would recommend is you start slowly, get a few of these things at a time, and then add to them as the weeks go on. So of course, if I went out and I bought all of this in one setting, especially the sweeteners that I'm going to share with you right now, it can be kind of pricey. However, I don't buy these every single week, okay? I buy these and they really stay in my pantry for a while. And y'all know how much I cook in my kitchen. Y'all follow me. If you've been following me, you know that I cook. And so these stick around for a little while, and I don't run out of all of them at the same time. Hey Candace, thanks for hopping on. Hello Tyler, thanks so much. You're amazing as well. So what I'll do is, like I went to the store the other day. I went to TJ Maxx and I found these are actually cheaper at TJ Maxx. In fact, I'll show you the price tag on the back. What does that say? $3.99. So I was able to grab both of these bags of monk fruit sweetener for super cheap. Now you can get them at Walmart as well, or you can buy them online. That's an option as well. But here are the first things I want to share with you. So sweeteners are a must at my house because I do a lot of baking, and I am a sweets type of person, and people think that whenever they start lazy keto or any type of the keto diet that they can't have sweets. That's not true. You just have to replace the sugar, the powdered sugar, the brown sugar, the confectionered sugar, the regular sugar. You have to replace all of that. Get rid of it out of your house and convert to these. So what I do is I have my monk fruit golden, and Swerve also has a brand like that. I have the monk fruit classic. Those are going to be my regular sugar and then my brown sugar. And then I also have the Swerve Confectioners. Swerve is a erythritol blend. None of these sweeteners are going to affect your blood sugar. None of these sweeteners have carbs in them, so they're not going to count whenever it comes to your carb count. Now, Swerve is erythritol, and they do have a brown version, and they also have a regular version as well. And then finally, I have allulose. This is the one that you probably haven't heard of a whole lot. So if you have any of these sweeteners in your pantry at home, if you will put which ones you have or which ones are your favorite. Yes, TJ Maxx Crystal is amazing when it comes to finding keto finds. I love just to go in there and just browse around because you just never know. Like they have all the skinny syrups like that. Here, I'll show you. Hold on. I have one. They have like some of the skinny syrups and stuff like these that you can buy that are super cheap. This was $3.99 also, and it's no carbs. So yeah, TJ Maxx is definitely a must if you're keto. Like you definitely want to browse around in there. But allulose is one of those sweeteners that you don't hear a lot of. I like allulose. I think it doesn't have an aftertaste. However, I don't use it a ton, so that's why I have a whole bag. So I'm gonna slide that over. The next thing that I want to share with you are your oils that you need. So you're going to need to keep on hand some, I had to make sure I was pointing to the right ones. What is the Max? It's TJ Maxx. It's a store. It's like a Ross or a Marshall's or something like that. So olive oil and avocado oil are oils that I keep on hand all of the time. I would recommend you have them as well. I'm going to slide that out of the way so I know that I talked about it. What do you do with the sugar-free syrup? So that syrup is actually something that I can use in my coffee. I think that one was like a... I can't remember which one this one is. I haven't used it in a little while. Salted dark chocolate espresso. So this is one that I use in my coffee. They have tons of flavors like caramel, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so the next staple item that I feel like you have to have are your flours. So I'm making this video because really I've had so many people that have had questions and they tell me, can I use this instead of, and I'm like, no. Get rid of the regular flour. Get rid of all of the regular sugar. Like you cannot have those if you're following keto because they're loaded with carbs. Instead of using regular flour, I use almond flour or coconut flour, okay? And they do not work the exact same, okay? Almond flour is a little bit more grainy. Coconut flour is much finer. And so a lot of times in recipes, I will use them both. Coconut flour actually absorbs moisture a lot better or a lot more than almond flour. So anyway, both of those are a great option. You can get, I usually do buy the Walmart brand. It works just fine. Bob's Mill also has a great brand as well. But I am a cheapskate, so I just go for like the cheap stuff. It totally works just fine. And then, of course, the almond flour that I just mentioned. So those are great for any of your staple recipes that call for flour. Of course, you want to follow the recipe as it is described whenever you're using those. Okay? So thumbs up if you're with me so far. So the next thing that I want to share with you is pink salt. Okay? Pink salt. Now, I got this little bad boy from Walmart. It only costs about $2 or $3 for pink salt. It's so much better than regular salt. You get all of the benefits of sodium from this without all the negative benefits of sodium, if that makes sense. Regular salt, there's lots and lots of issues with that. Pink salt is so much better for your body. And for those of you that do not know this, Peggy, you do not have to keep them in the fridge. I know that people will recommend that you put them in the fridge. I don't. I'm a rebel. That's totally up to you if you want to put the flour in the fridge. Pink salt, whenever you are following keto, a lot of times what happens is people are, yes, you can tell the difference, Regina. People are really low on their electrolytes when they're following keto because it is a natural diuretic. So you may be drinking tons and tons and tons of water, and you're also flushing your kidneys of the electrolytes that you have in your body. So it's super important. So one of the easiest ways that you can replace your electrolytes is through pink salt, or even pickle juice is a great option as well. But I wanted to show y'all this TJ Maxx find. You guys, look at this big old bag of Himalayan salt. I'm so excited. And look at how much I paid. Well, there you go. Hallelujah. Look at, it's heavy. That's why I dropped it. Look at the price on that bad boy. $7.99 for this big old bag. Y'all, I paid $3 for this. $7.99 for this. You bet you're buying that. I'm going to be able to refill this thing like so many times from this bag of salt. Keto is not that expensive. You have all of this stuff, Lisa Marie? That's amazing. That means you're a pro. You could probably teach us how to do this. All right, so pink salt is a must instead of the regular salt. Like I'll be honest with you, I do keep a box of the regular salt as a backup just in case, but I never, ever hardly use it. Okay, next thing I'm going to share with you, these are also two staples that I keep in my refrigerator, and that is, unsweetened vanilla almond milk. I will tell you this tastes exactly like skim milk. There's literally no difference. You could buy the regular one that's not vanilla. I buy the vanilla one. Just make sure it says unsweetened, okay? So anytime you go to the grocery store and you want to, like, if you're browsing the almond milk, there's like a chocolate one, stay away from that one, okay? You can buy your sugar-free chocolate syrup and make your own chocolate milk because that one is loaded with carbs. Use the unsweetened, either vanilla or original almond milk, and it will do you just fine. Regular milk is loaded with carbs, okay? Goat milk is loaded with carbs. So almond milk or any of your nut milks are going to be much, much better option for you. Also, heavy whipping cream. I told you I'm a cheapskate. Like, I bought this because we went to the wrong store. Normally I buy Walmart brand. But heavy whipping cream is also a must. I try to keep this on hand. In fact, this one's almost low, so I already have another carton in the fridge because I use this all of the time. This is a great healthy fat for you. You can put it in your coffee. I like to make mousse with it. Like, some of my thickening, like my gravy and stuff that I use whenever I do my smothered pork chops or cube steak or anything like that. Heavy cream is the way to go. There's so many options for it. And then finally, as my staples, you are waiting for the new year to restart keto. You know you shouldn't wait, but you've been stocking up. Lisa, I am your girl. I can help you out. Send me a message if you need to get started. I can totally help you and hook you up with some resources. Which reminds me, if you guys want to be a part of my amazing resource group that has all of these kinds of ideas, meal plans, grocery lists, things like that. If you will put group in the comments, I can get you into that group. Just make sure we're friends. If we're not friends, just shoot me a friend request, okay? All right, so then finally, these are two staples that I keep all the time. Like, I stock up on them. Sometimes I buy double just because I always go through them. Healthy fats you have to have when you're following a keto diet, and I'll talk about that in just a second whenever I finally get to the meal planning part. Cream cheese and butter, okay? And I usually buy a box of the salted butter and a box of the unsalted. It really doesn't matter, but I like to use unsalted in my sweeter, like, dessert recipes, and then I use salted in everything else. If you're out of unsalted or you only have salted, it's totally fine to use that in a sweet recipe. It's not going to really hurt it. I just prefer it that way. It's just me and my thing. I see all y'all drop in group. That's awesome. I will get you into that group. So those two things are super important. So now that I've shared with you my staples, so all of you, again, just put in the comments, what are some of these that you already have right now in your pantry or in your refrigerator? Let me know down in the comments below. So once you have those things, meal prep is super simple, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you why it's super simple. So again, people are often intimidated because they think that keto is just one more thing, and it's really not. So I'll tell you, actually I have it right here. Hold on. Let me grab it if I can reach it. Okay, I have my little handy dandy planner here. And every Sunday I sit down and I literally plan out. So like this was this week, this is today. This is next week. So when I get off of here in just a few minutes, I'm going to start laying out what I'm going to have for my week. Now, for us particularly, we have lots and lots of venison in the freezer. And I don't know if you guys if you go to the grocery store and you stock up on your protein or your meat, you may already have things in your freezer. So what I would recommend you doing is take a look at what you have in your freezer, or maybe what's on sale. Some of you are like couponers and you like to catch whatever is on sale. So I would go to your whatever your rhythm is. And I want you to start by picking out your protein, okay? That's the first thing that you're going to do. Pick out your protein. This could be chicken, it could be beef, turkey, lamb, fish, venison, pork, eggs, anything like that. I want you to pick out your protein, and then you're going to label your days. What is your protein going to look like for that day, okay? Now, if you're stocked up on venison, you might have venison every day that week, okay? Totally fine. You can do all sorts of things with it, okay? Again, if you put group in the comments, I can get you hooked up with all the different meal plans and stuff, and recipes and things, okay? So start by picking out your protein. Go ahead and label out each day, what do you want on your calendar for your protein, okay? Thumbs up if you got that far. Thank you. It's actually a dress. I don't know if y'all can't see it, but it's a dress. It's got pockets too. Yay. You know, random, right? Okay, so once you've picked out your protein, the next thing that you're going to do is you are going to pick your veggie, okay? Now, I'm going to stress this to you, okay? Now, when you're following a ketogenic diet, it is low carb, high fat, moderate protein, okay? Notice I said low carb, okay? Low carb. That doesn't mean that you're not going to eat any carbs, okay? You're going to eat carbs, but your carbs are more than likely going to come from your vegetables. Okay, and I say that because a lot of people will load up on like the keto snacks and the things like that, and yeah, those are great and they can be helpful, but you have to be really careful in moderation having those because you're still consuming calories. Okay, so if you're still consuming way too many calories, you're really you're defeating the point. Okay, I hope y'all are with me. Put some thumbs up in the comments if you're with me and this makes sense. Thank you for sharing, Lisa. Okay, so you're going to pick your protein. The next thing you're going to do is pick your veggies. These are your carbs. And the beautiful thing about the list of veggies that I'm going to share with you, and this list is not the only list, okay? All veggies have a certain amount of carbs. Now, these are the ones that I recommend because they are the lowest carb veggies, okay? Or vegetables, all right? So you've got cauliflower. I load up on cauliflower. In fact, I probably have some in my freezer right now. Yep, sure do. Right here. I shouldn't have opened this because now things are going to start falling out. Okay, see, cauliflower. You can buy you can buy fresh cauliflower. You can buy, this is riced cauliflower that I buy a lot. You can buy the frozen cauliflower that's in the little florets. You can buy it however you want to buy it. Stock up on cauliflower because it is so versatile. I make potato salad with cauliflower. You can make all kinds of junk with cauliflower. It's just amazing. Okay, super low carb, it's like a funny thing. Like people say, like, you know, when you were little, you know, you were thinking, but then when you became an adult, cauliflower became everything. Like it was like I don't know. I'm not even doing it justice. I'm not even being funny right now. But anyway, y'all get the idea. Broccoli is another option. I'm gonna move on. Squash and zucchini, asparagus, greens, so like cabbage, mustard greens, turnip greens, collards, any of those types of greens. Brussels sprouts. Are y'all noticing that I'm saying lots of green things? Green beans, peppers, onions. Those are going to be your best bang for your buck when it comes to carbs. Now, does that mean that carrots are out of the question? No. I mean, they're still a little bit higher on carbs, okay? Does that mean that, I'm trying to think of another one. Sweet potatoes, those are a lot higher in carbs. You might want to kind of use those in moderation, maybe sprinkle them in. I love a good sweet potato every now and then. So my mindset, and again, everybody is completely different. My mindset is if I'm going to splurge and it's on a veggie, then I think it's worth it. Okay, because there's so many other benefits to eating your vegetables. But the ones that I mentioned, so again, cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, squash and zucchini, asparagus, greens, green beans, things like that. Those are all going to be, hold on, my phone is dying. Let me tap. Okay, so I can still see you guys. Lord have mercy. What is happening today? Okay, so all of those are going to be great options for you. Again, if you have greens on your plate, you literally can load up your plate with greens and it's not going to be a lot of carbs. You're still consuming enough to keep you full, okay? All right, so now you've picked your protein, you've picked your veggies. So I like to go ahead and label out. I'm going to do my protein, then I'm going to go through and pick out my veggies. If you have things in your freezer, voila, there you go. If you don't have things in your freezer, then you know you're going to write that on your list to go pick it up at the grocery store. All right, and sometimes I even will do more than one vegetable. You know, like we'll have cauliflower and something. We'll have this and something. Onions and peppers are a great option together. Like just, you know, the possibilities really are endless. Hey, Brenda, thanks for hopping on. Okay, and then finally, and this is the most important, okay? A lot of people are very, very scared. I hate to say that word. Maybe not scared. Maybe they're a little wary of consuming fat. Okay, especially newbies, people that are just starting keto, they're like, oh, you know, you've been taught you got to stay away from fat your whole life, okay? Corn, Crystal, unfortunately it is. It's a very high carb, it's very high carb. In fact, it's not even a vegetable at all. But again, moderation. Like there's really very little nutritional value to corn. I should send me a message and I can maybe give you some information on that. Okay, so whenever I was going back to the fats, okay? People try to, they're very afraid to go with fats because they've heard all these awful things. But I want to remind you of things that are healthy fats and then things that are not healthy fats, all right? I'm not a fan of Brussels sprouts, Ruth. I wish I was, but I'm not. It's like literally the only vegetable I will not eat. I don't know why. I can't. Ugh. Okay, back to fats. This is butter, oil. Remember these? Okay, lard. Like your bacon grease. I use bacon grease a lot whenever, like if I'm cooking my bacon, I'll save the grease and use it in my veggies to season the food. That is a fat. It's a healthy, good fat for your body. Ghee, coconut oil, cheese, avocados, nuts, your dressings on your salad. Those are all things my favorite is your easy dinner recipes. Can you show us enchiladas with it? I will do my best, Jody. That's a great idea. I didn't even think about enchiladas. I will do that for you. Send me a message so I don't forget. Okay, so back to fats. People, whenever they're on keto, they're afraid to eat that. Well, let me tell you something. So, you consume amount of foods in the day, and I have conversations with people like this all of the time. I'm like, tell me. So they'll say, okay, so they're doing this for fat loss. They're trying to start this diet because they want to kickstart their fat loss. They're in ketosis, but for some reason, they're not losing any fat. Well, newsflash. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but if you're not consuming enough fat, then you're not going to burn fat. Okay, and most people, whenever they start keto, that's because why they're starting. That's why I'm bringing up that topic. So I say that is super important because when you restrict your carbs, you have to replace it with something else. Otherwise, you are going to starve. Okay, so you have to replace it with someone else. You're going to easily do that if you're using your oil, your butter, your coconut oil, your ghee, your cream cheese, your all of those things. It is an easy way, if you're having a steak, put a pat of butter on top. If you're having vegetables, put a pat of butter on top. I make fat bombs. Follow me. If you're not following, make sure you're following me. Tap on the screen. There's 3 dots that will pop up. Then a menu will pop up. Make sure you're following me. You turn on my live notifications. I do fat bombs to replace because for me, I have a hard time getting in my healthy fats. So I make fat bombs to help replace that. So tracking is super important in order for you to kind of find out what works best for you if you are consuming enough of those fats. So I'm going to go through that one more time. First thing you're going to need to do is pick your protein. The next thing you're going to do is pick out your veggies that go along with your protein. And then finally, you're going to finish up with your healthy fats, okay? That is the simplest way that I can tell you. And again, if you want to be a part of my group that has all sorts of resources in it, like those grocery lists, like those meal plans, to give you a nutshell idea of what I just went over with you, I will put a graphic in my stories so that you can take a screenshot. You'll be able to use that if you need to, but also put group in the comments and I can get you connected with those amazing resources and hook you up so that you can get that incredible support on your journey. So I appreciate you guys for joining me tonight. I hope this was helpful in some way. I hope you got some value to it. Let me know if this was helpful to you. How do you know to not go over in calories or eat too much? So that's a great question. Tracking is going to be helpful for you. Carb Manager or MyFitnessPal. Senza is also another app, but I'm not familiar with it. I haven't used that one. But put group in the comments and I will get you in touch with everything that you possibly need in order to help you. Every time you're on keto, you seem to lose more inches than pounds. That's a great question because you know what? You are gonna lose more inches than you are gonna lose pounds because you have fat in all sorts of other places, and the beautiful thing about the keto diet, especially the way that I do it, is I want to preserve my muscle mass. I don't want to lose my muscles. See, a lot of times what happens is whenever you consume all of the foods that you're eating, and then your body starts to feed on itself because you're not consuming enough calories and all of that stuff, I want to preserve my muscles while losing fat. So what will happen is I notice I lost fat in my face. I lost fat in my back. I lost fat in my arms. I lost fat in my thighs. I lost fat in all these random places that I didn't necessarily think that I was going to lose fat. Therefore, the scale didn't move a whole lot. It also has enough to do with the amount of water that you're drinking. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the whoosh effect or not, but your cells, every cell in your body, especially those fat cells that you're trying to get rid of, they are just full of fat, okay? So imagine you have all these little cells in your body full of fat. And then what happens is you decide, okay, I'm going to switch to a low carb diet. and I'm going to start consuming fats. Well, what happens is over time, fat goes away from those fat cells, okay? So the cell becomes emptier and emptier and emptier. And what happens is if you're consuming enough water, make sure you're drinking enough water. If you are drinking enough water, that cell fills up with water instead, okay? And this is why it's super important that you continue to drink water. Say hi, Soph. Can you say hi?
Mom, you know where my things are?
Your what?
My things are.
What things?
The things that I got from Granny's. Things.
I don't know. Can I tell you in just a minute? Let me finish what I was talking about. I'll tell you in a minute. Kid life, right? Okay, so the cell gets filled with water, and if you continue to drink water and then you continue to follow that low carb lifestyle, what happens is that cell basically is waiting for more fat, okay? And if you don't allow it to have if you don't keep consuming those carbs and the sugar and all that junk that you were eating before, eventually what will happen is the water will leave the cell collapses and washes away. Whoosh. There's the whoosh effect, okay? What is that in the background? My refrigerator? I don't know. My refrigerator? I'm not sure. I've got a bunch of junk on my refrigerator. Yeah, I'm not sure. But anyway, that hopefully will help you. So make sure that you drink your water. Karen, I would recommend that you drink at least half your body weight in ounces in water. So if you are 150 pounds, then you should be drinking, I can't do math, hold on, 75 ounces of water a day, approximately, okay? So anyway, I hope that you guys, yes, and water will keep you from getting hungry. I hope this was beneficial to you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your night. Again, put group in the comments. Make sure you are following me. Tap on those dots. Make sure you're following me. She said, who is that? Who is who?
I'm her daughter.
Hi, Sophie. This is Sophie. She is my child. How about cream soups like mushrooms, chicken, celery? Okay, so for those specific questions, if you guys will just send me a message and I can help you one-on-one and get you hooked up with the resources that you need in order to be successful. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your Sunday night, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys. You want to tell them bye?
Bye. I'm drinking soda.
Yeah, and that's not keto, is it? No, but she's 8, so we're good. Have a good night, guys.
Cheers.